Hello beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, and if you are a return subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so you don't miss whenever I post another video. Let's get straight into it. And I'm starting off with this medium brown shade, kind of like as a transition color, and I'm just building it up a little bit, and then I will go in with the lighter brown to kind of blend that out a little bit so that it's not so harsh. Now I'm going in with this light tan shade, and I'm gonna go directly on top as well as above to, like I said, blend out that color so that it's not so harsh. And I know the colors are kind of blending into that concealer, and that's fine because towards the end everything will come together. Now I'm going to go in with this brownish black shade, and I'm going to apply that to the outer corner, but a little more towards the center part, because once I blend it out, everything will fade where it's supposed to be. And I'm just going to build that up until I like where it is. And you want to make sure when you're doing this that you apply a little at a time, because if you apply too much, it's going to take away from the look that you're going for. I'm going back into that first shade and blending that together, making sure that I fade those two shades together so I don't have any harsh lines. I like everything to flow together. I'm also going to use whatever product is left on the brush and fade it forward a little bit, so when I go in with my next color, again, everything will flow together and I don't have a blank space. I'm going to take that brown shade as well as that tan shade and mix those together. And I'm going to fade out that blackish brown just a little bit, as well as build up that transition color a little more. Now I'm going to go in with this red looking shade, and I'm just going to apply a little bit to underneath my natural crease first, and then I'm going to build that up to where I like it, and then I'm kind of fade it up just a little bit so that everything again flows together. And I did like the placement of just having it underneath the crease without even fading it up, but I wanted to really show through. Considering I wear glasses, I really wanted that color to pop. The red on the left hand side is showing a little more than it is on the right, and that's just because of how the lighting is. And for this look, I'm not going to apply lashes, so I'm going to do my mascara and all of that once my whole face is done, and I'm going to do that off camera. Now I'm going in with this spot concealer, and I normally don't have to use any type of concealer, but I was trying to see how it would look underneath the foundation, and I love the way it turned out, and you guys will see in just a second. So pretty much what I'm doing is just applying that concealer everywhere I feel like is needed, mainly on my hyperpigmentation spots or spots that I had like little acne bumps and I picked with the bumps or whatever and it left scarring. Just applying it there. This particular concealer, you are not supposed to apply it underneath your under eyes or nowhere near your eyes, but I did apply it underneath my eyes. And with my foundation, even if I don't do that concealer technique underneath, I always apply a little at a time and then build it up if I needed to. But with this foundation, you don't really have to do that. But if you feel like you apply too much foundation, you can take your beauty blender, your sponge, whatever it is, and remove some of that excess product. For me, like I said, it looked like I added a lot, but I really didn't. And I love the fact that this foundation is like a full coverage foundation. Even if I don't use the concealer, I still get that nice coverage. And now it's time to highlight under my face just a little bit. So I'm applying a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes, as well as my forehead and down the center of my nose. I added a little extra on the left hand side by accident, but I did not go back on the right side and apply more because everything blended out the same anyways. I'm going in with that lighter concealer just a little bit to apply on top. You don't necessarily have to do this, especially if you're a person that has dry skin like I do. You don't really have to do this step. I'm also going to apply a little bit of that concealer right underneath where that bronzer will stop. And that's just to give it a little more extra pop when everything is nice and finished. In certain areas, I don't like to let the concealer sit for too long because it leaves like a harsh line for me. But if you do have a sheer concealer, you want to leave it for at least 2 minutes so that it dries down a little bit before blending it out. That will give you a more full coverage concealer, depending on what concealer you're using. But again, for me, in certain areas, I have to blend it out right away. Underneath my eyes, I probably will let it sit for like a minute or so, depending on what I got to do for that day. When blending out your concealer, you want to make sure that you blend out the edges first. This is so that you don't have a harsh line that separates between that concealer and that bronzer or blush, whatever it is that you use. And you want to make sure that you go back in with your like foundation brush, sponge, or whatever to really blend out that line a little more. So again, everything flows together. Now I'm just taking that foundation brush and blending out those edges. This will help me remove those lines. And you see how once I blended that out, everything blended together. That way, if you don't want to have to go in with like a bronzer or a blush, you don't necessarily have to. And I'm just going back in, taking this brush and basically smoothing out any creasing that I may have gotten, as well as making sure that I blend out any excess product that's under there before going in with this translucent powder to kind of set underneath my eyes. You don't need as much powder as I put right here. I actually made a mistake and just put that much, but it's okay because the end of the day, the look still turned out beautiful. So that's why you see me just constantly blending and fading it out so that I don't have any harshness, as well as dusting away that product right away because I don't want that to sit. I don't really bake, and if I do, it's not for too long because I don't like products just sitting on my face for that long, considering I do have dry skin. And now I'm going in with a darker powder just to kind of help blend that powder out a little bit more. And this time I did not use that much because again, you do not need that much powder. And I will let this sit for a few minutes while I add my bronzer and set the rest of my face. And now I'm just dusting away all that powder. And I am going to also use a pressed powder to help dust away that powder even further, as well as to set the rest of my face. And now I'm going to spray and set everything into place. And you want to make sure that you don't spray too much, but that you spray enough. You don't want to spray too much that the makeup starts running, but you want to spray enough that it sets everywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Again, everything that I use will be listed down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share with a friend so you don't miss whenever I post another video. And I will see you all in the next one.